But with that time as well of wonder is some disappointment. And here today is a piece of that disappointment because we are discussing closure. Closure is always disturbing and disappointing because it means that my voice is being silenced in speaking on behalf of the citizens of Calgary-Middelport. It means that there are other members in this House who are not having the opportunity to speak on behalf of their citizens, their constituents. And as we have heard, I have had many citizens reach out to me on Bill C-9 with their most grave of concerns, and it's quite sad that these expressions will not get the opportunity to come to light and to be expressed fully in this House. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, this is also a trend with this government. And another trend that I see with this government, Mr. Speaker, is that they can never seem to present a good piece of legislation without there being a poison pill. And this is the crux of C9, is that we are talking about obstructing access to religious institutions. And I mean, who could be opposed to the safe well-being of those who want to practice their religious freedoms at a time where 67% there is an increase in crimes targeting religion in 2023 compared to 2022. In 2024, 1,342 police-reported incidents were motivated by religion, and this included 900 incidents against the Jewish population, 211 incidences against the Muslim population, and over 100 Christian churches burned or vandalized since 2021. So, Mr. Speaker, C9 was a piece of legislation that we could support, that we could get behind. But the Liberal government does what it does, and it played politics. It put a poison pill of removing the religious defense in the criminal code. Why would they do that? Why would they do that, Mr. Speaker? Why would they remove the freedom of expression of the most deepest and dearest sentiments of humans in existence? Why would they do that? They would do that, Mr. Speaker, for politics, because they really don't want this to pass unanimously. They really don't want to see us working with them for Canadians, for the common good of Canada. They don't want this. This is a farce. And this does more than elude them. It is planned intentionally by them for their hopeful political gain. It is intentional. They cannot put forward good legislation for the purpose of us all supporting good legislation. There must always be a poison pill. My grandfather was from Ukraine, Mr. Speaker, from Bucha, where they found the mass graves. Ukrainian heritage has been a key part of my life since I was a little girl, whether my mom was making padaha and kubasa, or we are admiring the pashka at family weddings in the beautiful shape of doves. So war comes to Ukraine. Tragedy, sadness. And the Liberal government gets a good idea after contributing to Putin's war effort in supplying the turbine to export their oil. A trade agreement, wonderful. Opportunity to show our support to in the most tangible way possible, economy. As Conservatives, we become excited at the prospect of supporting this bill. All of us working together for peace and for democracy against one of the greatest dictators of our time. But wait. They place a carbon tax in the bill, a carbon tax that their own government would claim to reverse, at least in principle. But for the time being, another poison pill, another measure deliberately placed by the Liberal government to give us, the Conservative Party of Canada, hesitation in supporting this legislation. Again, they say they want us to work together. They claim that we are obstructionist, but it is always deliberate by their design, as I am explaining. They can never just present legislation that is good. It's in its entirety for Canadians. They always have to have a poison pill because they want to play politics and they want to divide. In the Building Canada Act, they provide powers to get major projects approved in Canada, but they don't repeal C-69 or C-48. That would make it palpable to investors. That would make it even easier for us as Conservatives to support, even though we did. We gave them every opportunity to create prosperity in this great nation. In C-8, they say they want to protect Canadians from cyber threats, but their legislation would ultimately give the government the power to secretly cancel Canadians' internet accounts. Again, they claim they are doing good, but there is always that poison pill. In C2, they tried to give Canada Post sweeping powers to open any piece of mail in the land. An incredible invasion of privacy, an incredible invasion of communicator to receiver. They tried to do this, and to ban cash payments of over $10,000. Cash, a way in which business has been done in this nation, commerce has been conducted for forever. Conservatives forced the government into splitting the bill into two pieces to take out the poison pills. And, Mr. Speaker, it is these games that hurt Canadians in delayed legislation, in amendments, in going back and forth to committees, in discussing these things, and therefore in delayed outcomes for Canadians, in things that would improve fundamentally the lives of Canadians. It's all a result of putting these poison pills in pieces of legislation. They really do not want us coming together for the good of Canadians. They want to divide, and C9 is just another example of this. It is intentional. Mr. Speaker, you know, it's never about the 95% of the bill, right? There are always the good clauses, the positive clauses, the way we can point to good things being done for Canadians. Rather, Mr. Speaker, it's always about that 5%, that one little hitch, that little poison pill that we simply cannot pass. Mr. Speaker, it's like you're eating a hot dog, and then all of a sudden you hit that hard piece, right? And then it just ruins the hot dog. Or you're eating an olive, and all of a sudden you hit that little piece of pit, Mr. Speaker, that just ruins the experience, the item in its entirety. Most of it is good. It was a really good hot dog or a really good olive, but it's that small piece that ruins the item in its entirety. And it's the same within Liberal legislation. They say it's for the good of Canadians. They say they want us to work together. It's not true. There is always, with this Liberal government, a poison pill. And we see this as well within C9. We can support Canadians being safe in their place of worship. We want Canadians to be able to be free to go to their place of worship, to be able to worship who they want, how they want, when they want. We absolutely support that within C9. But we cannot support the criminalization of merely offensive speech. We cannot leave up for interpretation what is motivated by hatred. We cannot condemn Canadians for speaking their utmost and sacred truths, but apparently we, the elected representatives, can be silenced for attempting to stand up for and defend those who agree with us in these sentiments. And that, Mr. Speaker, is shameful. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.